do you guys feel the burden of it sometimes? And at that point, do you guys feel कि यार I want to fire this customer यार, too many secrets हो गया, या फिर सुन नहीं रहा यार मेरा, मतलब does this
Firing
happen?
clients ऐसा बहुत मन में आता है, बहुत
Oh,
आता है.
अच्छा आता है.
I've done that.
Okay.
And we have
अच्छा.
done that. Yes, yes, you're
Any-
right. We
I've done
have
that.
to.
Oh.
Yeah.
So-
Because sorry, I'll just say this. I said in the beginning, not all clients can be fiduciary
Yeah.
clients. Sometimes client behavior is erratic. They do
Mm.
not listen.
Oh.
They do not. They have a very, very short-term outlook to their life. Irresponsible behavior by clients is not uncommon. I have seen an investor who has given me a very small, I do entire portfolios. I don't do piecemeal. So for me, the one criteria is that I'll handle everything. I don't want to see your mutual fund portfolio and not know what you're doing on the side with your stocks and your fixed deposits or whatever. So give me the whole picture. This is my first ask. There is this investor who went about doing stock trading, lost a lot of money. It was really heartbreaking for me because we were doing so well on this side. On his mutual fund portfolio, we were just amazingly performing. And this guy went and lost so much money that we had to redeem from our portfolio, the core portfolio. Now I know the family. Now, like I said, I'm invested in them. And for me, this turned out to be a very bad investment. So, so this can happen. I didn't fire the client, and they needed me the most at that time. So, but I'm just saying, but clients can be irresponsible. And sometimes it just hurts a lot as an advisor. We just don't know how to. But there are clients who will come up and say, oh, आपका fees बहुत ज़्यादा है, हम नहीं afford कर सकते हैं. भैया आपने आपका portfolio देखिए. So that, the gains in the portfolio is the clients.
Yeah.
The fees are mine. Yeah. And that's an expense. This is an unfortunate Indian mentality of not being able to recognize a professional's contribution and recognizing professional skills and paying for it. Yeah. We even crib when we go to the doctor, na? 2 minute dekha, mere ko 1,000 rupees ka laga diya yaar. 2 minute bhi nahi dekha mujhe. We do that. We also crib, right? We crib about the costs of paying a lawyer. We do crib about paying professionals. So there is an Indian mentality, and it is sometimes hard for us, but we do need to say goodbye to some clients who are defaulters. Repeat defaulters.
The irrational behavior. Maybe you were also telling
so basically, see, it's not Indians. It's actually the world over. People are price conscious and not value conscious, right? Because it has not been taught how to value things.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
Right? So relationship, an advisor and client relationship is very, very important. In fact, if you get the right advisor, he actually has the power to make or break your financial life. Absolutely. And like I said in one of my previous interaction with you, an advisor or a client, if they manage their finances well, 90% of the problems in their lives are solved. So if you want to partner with someone, you don't want to bargain with them on the fees and the cost, because of course there is a value. I mean, you have a Supreme Court lawyer charging a 10 lakh rupees per hearing. He may have something in him, right?
Absolutely.
As compared to someone who is sitting outside a notary, doing notary. Yeah. Of course. So with experience, the advisor knows what not to do.
And that's very important.
That is very important. Everyone will tell you what to do, but an advisor can tell you what not to do, and that can save the client a lot. Absolutely. So that is very important. And sometimes the client does not appreciate that. And like Kavita said, they become price conscious and they don't look at the value. And when they start having discussions on that, rather than looking at the other aspects, that's when you feel, I mean, at least personally, I start feeling a little sad, irritated, and that affects my mindset. And whenever I see that happening, I generally take a call to exit that client. I've done that in the past. Because I don't want my mindset to get impacted because there's one client and have that impact on my other 99 clients who are good.
Absolutely.
Who listen to me, who do not crib.
Yeah.
So I've done those exits and that has got a lot of peace of mind with me. And there have been also clients examples where I've done the exits. The client has realized the mistake. After a few years, he still wants to work with me and not want to compromise. I mean, not want to discuss on the fee part and the other things.
No, it's a fantastic, I think, testimonial that client is coming. And maybe Rahul, just to, if you have such incidents, but more to touch base on, do you feel the emotional burden side of it? I mean, definitely both of you talked about that there might be irrational behavior where client is not listening, or there is a fee structure misalignment, the value misalignment, I mean, rather than a fee structure. But I'm very sure that there is a lot of secrets that these clients are telling you. I mean, there are a lot of details about their personal lives that they are sharing with you. So have you come across any such client where you felt burdened? Maybe you wouldn't have fired them, but you felt burdened that, "अरे यार, इसका तो life मेरे को ही ज़्यादा पता है," मतलब, and all of those things, because you go deeply emotionally also with them. So what has been your experience in that?
So I don't think that has been a reason for me firing a client. I mean, because that's essentially what I do, right? I mean, I would want them to kind of open up so that I can help them. So I don't think that has been a reason. I think the instances while Vineet was also sharing, Kavita was also speaking, so I was just thinking back to the time. So I think the most recent client I myself kind of requested that probably we should terminate the agreement was because the client was not at all proactive, right? Not participating, not responding to any of the let's say the assignments or whatever, right? So in the absence of that, I mean, how do I actually operate? So I said, I mean, we first kind of, if there's anything on your mind, let's discuss it, right? And otherwise, I don't think the current way is working. I don't think I'm being able to deliver value. I think a part of being a fiduciary also involves that. I mean, if you are not falling short on any aspect, right? Or maybe the client has certain expectations which you are not able to fulfill. Maybe he's return conscious and I'm not that kind of person, right? So, I mean, it's best to let go. I think it just chokes your bandwidth at the end of the day. I just want to make a small point regarding the DIY category. I mean, which just kind of occurred to me right now. So there's a doctor who kind of came down to meet me on the reference of someone last week. And during the course of the discussion, obviously the thing moved to that, I've been seeing these reels about how you can save X amount of lakhs or crores by, going direct. Yeah. So I said, sir, you're a doctor. And tomorrow, if you're in a problem, would you trust someone, or would you rather opt on yourself by watching a YouTube video, right? Or would you kind of use ChatGPT and do it for you? And by that logic, I mean, you can service your own car. Why do you pay? Yeah, you can do your household stuff yourself. Why do you hire a maid? Right? So you value what is important to you. If you feel you can manage everything on your own and want to spend doing that instead of doing more meaningful things, please go ahead and do it. Right?
Absolutely.
A client actually asked me, you spend half an hour with me in 3 months, once in 3 months. So little time, why are you taking so much? And my simple answer was, I can spend half an hour with you and get results because I've spent years doing this. Yeah, okay, absolutely. I have put effort in educating myself, getting the qualifications right, getting the certifications required, getting registered with a regulator. Absolutely. Okay, and then there is years of experience. In half an hour, I can tell you what has to be done and what cannot be done. It's because I'm experienced. Absolutely. And it's for those 25 years of accumulated knowledge in my head that you're paying me for. And I told him that maybe I should increase your fees.
And you're also telling them the truth, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
I mean, you're showing them the mirror that what's happening.
It's like the analogy of the doctor. No? He sees you for 1 minute and he can just tell you, this is what I need you to do.
Correct.
It's because he's got so many years of experience. And that's
exactly. In any profession, the more experienced you are, the more you'll command value, because of course you don't want to work with too many people.
Yes.
After a certain point
imagine going to a doctor and saying, यार एक ही घंटे का ऑपरेशन है, हार्ट का सर्जरी एक ही घंटे में तो खत्म कर रहे हो, तो यार क्या 10 लाख किसके लिए ले रहे हो? So just imagine, थोड़ा कम करो, थोड़ा 4 लाख भी कर दो. I mean, who talks to doctors that way? Like, we don't do that.
On your point, so there was this story or whatever that in a factory, I mean, there was some machine which is not functioning, right? And they had to call someone, and he just came, just hit something with a hammer. And in 5 seconds.
Yes, I know.
Actually, in an old Indian movie, there is a scene about this. Yeah.
I'm not aware of this.
You know, Rajesh Khanna ka movie tha, wherein they get Rajesh Khanna to do the same thing, and he just puts a hatoda, and he asks, "अरे यार 5,000 किस चीज का?" बोलता है, "सर 5,000 हथौड़े का नहीं है, वो तो कहाँ हथौड़ा मारना है, कितना मारना है, उसका 5,000 रुपए."
Exactly.
And that's what you guys are doing. Yeah, I mean,